Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drill, CIF Southern Section Football Playoffs edition. We have a big one going down in the Southeast Division coming up this Friday night at Arcadia High School. Bonita 6-4, last year's division runner-up. 6-4, like I said, at Arcadia 8-2. Guys, let's get right into this. Let me introduce you first. Miguel Melendez on the left, the Pasadena Star-News Prep Sports editor, and Fred Robledo on the right, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune Prep Sports editor. Freddie covers the Bearcats. Miguel covers the Apaches. I try and do a little bit of both. Let's get right into this game, guys. A game probably so good that it's not really befitting of a first-round matchup. Fred, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, because Bonita in the championship game last year, and they had the tough start, Aaron. They started 2-4, but you look at how they finished the year, winning 4 straight games to get in the playoffs. And typical Eric Podley coach team. I mean, playoff. Now that we're in the playoffs, they're playing well toward the end. You can speak more to the quarterback situation they're in, but running the ball, Reggie Turner and Cameron Griffin. Two-headed monster right now, 1,500 yards rushing between them. And if they get it going, I think it's a scary game for Arcadia. I don't think this is a team Arcadia really wanted to match up with in the first round. I think this is the best game in the Southeast Division to open the playoffs.
Yeah, no question about it. And you look at why this happened is because Arcadia is not seated in the division, and as such as
that's garbage, Miguel.
Right, and as
that's
such,
a coin flip, right? That's why that happened.
I mean, that's a team I know, Aaron, and some of you guys. I mean, we've talked about it. We thought Arcadia, West Covina would be a good finals matchup.
Yeah.
We don't see that now.
Well, I
the
think they're
reason
the second
for that
best
is
team.
because Arcadia Burroughs finished. They tied for first,
right?
But they gave Burroughs the nod because
they
of
beat
head-to-head
them.
competition.
All right, well,
and Coach Di Melanti, I talked to him yesterday, and I was just disappointed with their draw, and I thought I would get kind of a similar reaction from John Di Melanti. The classiest coach wasn't even bothered by it. He thought, you know what, we have a home game. Mm-hmm. That's what we're excited about. And you kind of want to root for coaches like that who aren't going to vent and have gripes over their playoff selection when he easily could have. But no doubt this is the best game in the Southeast Division, and it's something you would have wanted to see down the road, but granted, we're seeing it right off the bat.
And Arcadia in its history, they've never won a CIF championship in football, Aaron. And they've had some good teams over the year, and they're one of those victims, one of those teams that have been in some really tough divisions when they've had good teams. I really think they're in a spot now where they can make a run.
Yeah.
But again, this is a tough way to open against a Bonita, who I think, in this division, the Southeast, and we were talking about this, I thought West Covina was the only one that you could really pencil into the finals. I thought any other game in this division, when you go down the matchups, you can make an argument either way. That's why you can make a good argument for Bonita.
Right.
They have an experienced coach in Podley who has, just last year, took him to the title game. There's a few players left over from that team who are in that finals too and know how to get there. And you just see that towards the end of the year when teams are fighting for playoff spots, when they're fighting for their lives, when we get to what we call the meat and potatoes part of the year. All of a sudden, Bonita shows up, and here they are, much like Diamond Ranch, who wound up finishing second and could be another sleeper in this division. So I think it's a great first-round matchup. I think it's a pick 'em.
Yeah. Now, Fred, you had mentioned the switch kind of on offense there, quarterback-wise. I think last time you saw them, Fred, the season opener against San Dimas, a game that they won pretty big. That looks better and better. Yeah, Tanner Diebold, a.k.a. Sunshine, was the quarterback. Now the quarterback is Aaron Burgett. He's a senior. Diebold was a sophomore. Things, for whatever reason, just weren't flowing with Diebold at quarterback. I don't understand why, but Freddie, I saw this team recently against Diamond Bar. They have simplified the offense. They've put Burgett in there, and although, I believe you read the stats, he only has 0 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions. I know that sounds weird, or this may sound weird, but the offense, Freddie, flows better right now with Burgett at quarterback. If you take the overall picture, it just flows better with Burgett at quarterback. They've simplified it. I remarked to a couple people and to myself when I saw them against Diamond Bar, it seems like they're running only about 4 plays, but they're running them well, as you can see.
They're running the ball a lot.
They're running the ball a lot.
And maybe that makes sense, Aaron, because when we go back to the beginning of the year, when we watched them against San Dimas, our first impression was, look at the size of Bonita, the way they're able to manhandle them. And maybe they've said, look, they've looked at this division and said, you know what, we're as physically strong as anyone. I know Pod likes to throw the ball about, but let's pound it out. It's worked for West Covina.
It is.
And when you can run and teams can't stop you, it's a deadly combination.
It is the smarts of Podley and his coaching staff to say, what are the 2 things that we do well? We run the ball well, we play defense well, and they are riding those strengths. And since that big rally against Los Altos, they haven't lost a game. They played some pretty decent teams, and they are doing those 2 teams well, which can take you a long way. But having said that, this is the playoffs. They are playing, in my opinion, the second best team in the division, and you're going to have to be able to throw, or Arcadia is going to stack the line on you. Going back to what Miguel was saying about Arcadia, and even you, Fred, this is the best Arcadia team I've seen in a while. Skill-wise, they might be their best ever. I mean, I don't remember a team like, usually Arcadia of the past was big up front and had okay skill guys. It's completely opposite now. I mean, they're okay up front, but their skill guys are fantastic, and I really do think if we get that semifinals game, and I think we're going to get it, Covina or Arcadia, that's your division championship, despite what Santa Fe may have to say.
And I think that I think early on there was some concern about how big the line was going to be, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
I think that
they're not big. I don't think
they've proven that they can play big.
Yeah, they can.
Robbie Haynes has 11.5 sacks. He's not a small guy. He's about 6'2", and a half, 11.5 sacks. And he's really wreaked havoc there on clogging lanes on the defensive line, flushing the quarterback out of the pocket. Clarence Irvin, an all-area returning defensive lineman, first-team guy last year, with 6.5 sacks. So they have guys up front, even guys who can disrupt things for teams who, like Bonita, has a balanced attack on the ground and through the air. The one thing we mentioned early in the season about Arcadia, the missing piece that they needed last year was, will they have a balanced attack? They needed a running game. They needed somebody to balance things out. Miles Carr needed some help out there. He got it this year with Sheldon McKinley and Ronnie Arnett were two guys who were going to be switching back and forth. Then we saw Alex McKelwey come in back in the middle of the season. But the guy who came in and kind of took everyone by surprise was Jake Medell. He's only played 6 games this season. He has almost 700 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns. The advantage to that for Arcadia is, having come in so late in the season, no one's been able to figure out this kid. He's like a magician, just weaving and bobbing through lanes, getting what he needs, and no one seems to be able to stop this kid. And that might be the missing link that Arcadia has not had up until this season. And this is why they're considered the second best team in the division.
And that's why, Aaron, we'll get into predictions right now. I'm going to go with Arcadia. I haven't seen them this year, but listening to you, who's been there, listening to Miguel, and some of the endorsements they've had from other people, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in this game. And as much as this is a tough game for Arcadia, look, it's a tough opener for Bonita, who was really playing well at the end. I'm sure they didn't like getting Arcadia, who they consider a seed.
Right.
What we don't know is, like we said, Bonita, they lost their games earlier there, the West Covina Diamond Ranch. That was early in the Hacienda. Like Aaron said, they're almost playing a different style and brand of football where they're pounding it out now. So I think it's going to be a great game. I said in my comment that I wrote in the blog that I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way, but if you're going to put pen to paper and make a prediction, I think I want to take Arcadia.
Yeah, I've covered 3 or 4 Arcadia games this year, and I saw them last week against Burroughs. There were some miscues, especially in the center quarterback exchange, a lot of high snaps. That kind of created some problems.
You saw him last week against PHS, right?
No, last week against Crescenta Valley.
Crescenta Valley, all right.
Crescenta Valley.
Jeez,
and there were some mishaps there, but I think that's an isolated situation. If people who were at that game, for example, West Covina was at that game watching. I think people who were interested in the Southeast were there looking to see how Arcadia would play. That was an isolated situation. That's never happened before. That's an experienced senior center. So don't take too much from that. What you do want to look at is Miles Carr, the quarterback. He's completed 64% of his passes, almost 1,900 yards, and get this, 25 touchdowns against just 3 interceptions. Yeah. This kid doesn't turn the ball over.
That's
and
important.
he was like this last year, and it was tough not to pick this kid as a first-team all-area quarterback with those kind of stats.
I mean, 3 picks. Quarterbacks don't always have to beat you, but you don't want them to lose games for you.
Right.
That's a sign of a good quarterback.
Which is why they actually...
Stevie Ramirez would tell us that.
Right.
Right. I will go with Arcadia.
Yeah, guys, I agree with you. I'm the only one here that's actually seen both of these teams. I got to tell you... Bonita needs everything to break right in this game to be in it, because they're just not going to, if they fall behind, and I think they're going to, they're not going to be able to throw from behind on this team. Taylor Legace, the receiver from Arcadia, Garrett Harine, the receiver from Bonita, 2 outstanding players, but I really trust Arcadia more to get the ball to Legace than I do Bonita to get it to Harine, which is kind of a shame. But anything's capable with that Podley coaching staff. So I'm going to go with Arcadia, and I'm going to take them big here, because I think this game's going to get away from Bonita. Too much explosiveness on Arcadia. Okay. They're a sight to be seen, and I really do think they would have a shot against West Covina if we get to that game. Okay, so we're all on Arcadia here. Get out there to Arcadia High School on Friday night. Apaches and Bearcats, first round of the Southeast. Enjoy it.